Hey guys, what's up? It's Tachi and welcome to or back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is something I've been wanting to film for a long time, so I'm so happy to be finally putting this out. This is gonna be a little intro to fast fashion, what fast fashion is kind of about, the reality behind it all, as well as my journey towards quitting fast fashion and beginning to shop sustainably. So without further ado, subscribe if you're new and let's get straight into this video. This video is in collaboration with Divinia's. I'm gonna tell you guys all about them a little bit later in the video, but for now, let's just get straight into it. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Tatiana Ringsby. I am a model as well as an influencer here on YouTube, and I've been doing this for about 5 years. So I've seen the ins and outs of the fashion industry and a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes. I will admit though that I was very naive and uneducated about the truth of fast fashion. So last summer when I really began looking into sustainability, it provoked a lot of self-reflection. And what was I doing that was harming our planet? And as it turns out, one of the major climate crisis problems was staring me straight in the face, my own profession, which is the fashion industry. So of course I decided to take a deeper look into how the industry works. This is what I discovered. I've got all my notes and facts here on my computer, so let's get into it. First of all, what is fast fashion? Simply put, it is inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass market retailers in response to the latest trends. These trends come in and out faster than most probably realize. It's these big corporations that have created this on-trend mindset that we've all fallen victim to. So instead of restocking products, brands create new, cooler items that make the consumer want to buy more and get rid of whatever they had last week. This maximalist lifestyle that most of us unknowingly live results in tons upon tons of textile waste, water waste, unsafe working conditions, use of irresponsibly sourced materials, as well as the use of toxic materials. Okay, so it's brands like Zara, Boohoo, Forever 21, Fashion Nova that drop new items weekly to keep the consumer engaged and buying. So then of course these brands advertise with attractive, popular people and we end up buying their newest drops. These brands kind of steal styles from popular icons, popular people in our society today, which ultimately makes the consumer want to buy it because if Kim K is wearing it, I want to wear it too. You know, it's a very normal thing to want to be on trend and to want to look like the coolest, most popular people. In order to produce such a mass amount of clothing at such a low price, brands turn to sweatshops. Sweatshop is a term for a workplace with very poor, socially unacceptable, or illegal working conditions. These workers are incredibly underpaid and overworked. So there are millions upon millions of employees all around the world, mostly in third world countries, that are working 10 to 14 hours a day in unsafe working conditions to make less than what you and I buy a latte for. Women working in these shops often face sexual harassment and discrimination and aren't allowed to take maternity leave. And on top of all of that, an estimated 168 million children ages 5 to 14 are also forced to work in these harmful conditions. And this of course is all very much the tip of the iceberg of what actually goes down in these sweatshops. So when I started to educate myself on all of this, let's just say as a model whose job is responsible for the sale of a lot of this clothing, I was shocked. As an empathic human being, I was horrified. The thing is, how do people not know about this? You know, like I feel like I was sheltered for so long, not realizing the damage that this is all actually doing. I mean, it's so easy to go into an Urban Outfitters, a Forever 21 and just buy a bunch of stuff. You get like 5 items for $40, but what's the real cost behind that? There's so much more than those 5 items. There's people's lives in danger, and we'll get into it, the climate impact that all of this has. Here's just a quick overview on how this affects the planet we live on. The fashion industry produces 10% of all humanity's carbon emissions, and fast fashion alone emits 1.2 billion tons of CO2 equivalent per year. 1.2 billion tons of CO2 equivalent per year. So that's about 5% of global emissions. To put that in perspective, that's more than the emissions created by air travel and international shipping combined. And here are just a few more facts. The fashion industry is the second largest consumer of the world's water supply. The fast fashion industry alone uses about 80 billion cubic meters of fresh water, which in turn creates about 20% of global water waste. Production of textiles uses about 3,500 different chemicals. The industry uses chemicals to produce dye, coat, and soften fabrics. A lot of these chemicals are not only harmful to our planet, but also us. These chemicals that are used to produce clothing often end up in our waterways and oceans. Shockingly, 63% of clothes are made from petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are basically plastic. And as we know, plastic never ceases to exist. So in turn, fast fashion is a huge contributor to the plastic pollution of our planet. This one hits pretty hard, but about 0.6 to 1.7 million tons of microplastics end up in the ocean every year. So yeah, those are a lot of really depressing facts, but there is a solution. So what can we do about it? Well, for starters, we can consume less. And second, which is something I've really fallen in love with, which is thrifting. And then of course, there are brands like Divinius. So here's my backstory and how I switched to sustainable fashion. So back in August of 2019, when I kind of discovered all of this, I decided I was no longer gonna work with fast fashion brands, no longer gonna model for them. This was a really big change for me because my entire livelihood was based around posing for or promoting fast fashion brands on my channel. I was kind of scared at first, but I knew that it was the right choice that I had to make for myself, for my planet, and it just aligned with my morals and ethics. And of course I'm human, so I have slip-ups where I do purchase something that is not sustainably made or continue to promote something that I haven't really realized isn't sustainable, but that's part of the journey, you know? I've never claimed to be zero waste, never claimed to be 100% perfect, and I know that I'm not, and I know that I never will be, but I'm so grateful to have this platform where I can kind of share my journey with you guys and be open about the mistakes that I make, be open about being a human, buying something unsustainably. I am doing the most that I possibly can and being the best that I can to impact our planet. So the whole quitting fast fashion thing can be very overwhelming, but take it step by step and just continue to educate yourself and you'll get there. For me, I was really scared that I wasn't gonna find brands to work with that believed in these types of topics, but slowly but surely they all kind of came knocking, and I was really shocked and surprised at how many incredible sustainable companies are out there and are beginning to become more sustainable. So of course, when Divinius reached out, I was so excited because Divinius is the epitome of sustainable and ethical fashion. I've always been someone who's really believed in using my platform for good. Something like sustainability has really just hit close to home and has been something that I've fallen so in love with. And so I've created videos around it. I even made a short film. You guys can check it out on the eye, all about sustainability. Divinius is completely and utterly transparent. They're open and honest about their product sources, factories, employee wages, fabric waste, water usage, and their environmental practices. Divinius's core initiative is to be sustainable throughout their entire creative process. This begins with the materials that they source that they ensure are biodegradable to a T, all the way to the finished fashion pieces that are recyclable and don't damage the planet. So when I began talking to Divinius, I was so excited because they wanted to give me kind of full creative of what I could do for this video. So Divinius, being all about sustainability, provides incredible basic pieces that go with everything and last years and years. These pieces are rewearable and restylable in hundreds of different ways. So I decided to create a campaign photo shoot around simplicity being beautiful. Being a model and creative, this is something I've really wanted to do, and the fact that Divinius kind of gave me full creative range of what I could do with their collection, I was so excited. As soon as I kind of figured out what I wanted to do, I called up one of my best friends in the whole world, Alana, an incredible photographer, and asked her to shoot it. So as soon as I got Celia on board, I picked out some pieces from the site. I got styling and kind of into the creatives of what I wanted to do for the shoot. This all came at the perfect time, and I happened to be home in Maui, where Celia lives and where obviously everything is so gorgeous and any background would do. Coming up with concepts, I went back and forth, but ultimately landed on a clean, soft, and timeless approach. So I set the date, and this is how it went down. Yes, Divinius's clothes are sustainable, but they don't stop there. They empower women all over the world. When you wear Divinius, you know that you're wearing a fashion piece that was not made by blood, sweat, and tears of oppressed women, but by empowered women that work in a safe and fulfilling environment while being paid a fair living wage. Through their partnership with B1G1 and different charities, they're impacting and empowering the daily lives of women, girls, and families worldwide. Through each purchase, Divinius helps to fulfill the fundamentals of different areas of social justice, health, and education for their careers. So 10% of net profits are donated to women-centric partner charities. From clothing alone, Divinius has already done over 10,000 giving impacts to date for women and girls around the world. So thank you to Celia for shooting this incredible campaign that has been my absolute favorite shoot I have done in my 5 years of modeling, because I know that the clothing I'm wearing on my body and promoting to all of you is something that completely aligns with my core ethics and values, something that impacts and empowers women all around the world, something that doesn't harm our planet but actually helps it. Thank you, Divinius, for giving me this opportunity to create such a beautiful campaign. So without further ado, I present to you an ad campaign completely artistically directed by Celia and myself, and something that I'm really, really proud of.
One for paradise, two for you, three for everything that I've been through. Watching the cotton candy sky fade away, that's my favorite part of the day.
If you guys like it, of course, let me know in the comments down below, and you guys can shop everything from Divinius down below in the link in my description. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and I hope it was a little bit helpful in any way, shape, or form. I'm gonna do a lot more videos on topics just like this, so leave your recommendations down below in the comments. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Ringsby. All my links will be down below as well. Make sure to check out the Divinius collection and their entire website, because it is amazing, sustainable, and I couldn't be more happy to work with such a sick and freaking cool brand. So I love you all so dearly. Check out my Instagram for more of the photos, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to go drink a glass of water.